Yes, welcome back to the 67 Hail channel on YouTube. My name's Hamish Carton as usual. Thanks once again for all your support. We're back with another interesting video today talking about the issue that seems to be on the lips of every Celtic fan at the moment. We're talking, of course, about season tickets after the club finalised their plans for next season. And it's fair to say that there's been a bit of a reaction, the vast majority of it negative since they did so. We're going to look at all that today. I'm going to go through some of the figures and thoughts behind the clubs, as well as some of the issues that I can see arising ahead of next season with perhaps season ticket holders being disadvantaged. I'll try and keep it as balanced as possible. We're not here to attack Celtic at all. I'll go into that later on, why I think that Celtic have been placed in such a difficult position here. But for now, we're just going to look at what the plans are effectively. But first of all, the financial situation of Celtic, because it's been commented that the club are in this great position, and we are. We posted having, I think, £33 million in the bank in our last kind of interim financial results, which I think were in February or March. So the club are doing really well, but they're not immune to this situation at all. As Peter Law said at the start of April, he said Celtic are in a strong financial position, but we are not immune to this unique set of circumstances. Now, he was speaking as Neil Lennon, other backroom staff members, other executive staff, as well as, of course, the first team squad, took pay cuts and pay deferrals from April until June. So that just showed the situation Celtic are in. It was further emphasised last week, I think it was, when two members of the first team squad, Johnny Hayes and Wholesome, were allowed to leave at the end of their contracts. They both played their final game for the club. That's perhaps a little bit surprising, given that both played a decent amount of games last season under Neil Lennon. You think back to the away games in Lazio and Rennes when Johnny Hayes was played, and Copenhagen springs out for obvious reasons with Simunovic as well. So these are two players who are valued by Neil Lennon but haven't been kept on, and you feel that they probably would have been kept on in an ideal world. But in terms of the current situation and the club perhaps having to cut costs a little bit, you can see why that's been done. A report in 2018 told us that Celtic's annual wage bill was around £60 million per year. Now, that's quite a large percentage of the revenue we bring in. It's 58% of the £102 million we brought in that year. And that just goes to show how much of the money that the club brings in ends up going back out to players. So, that's fine. The club can handle that in a usual scenario when they've got fans coming into games, fans buying things, fans paying for hospitality tickets, and also walk-up fans as well away from season tickets. Sadly, at the moment, there's none of that, and it doesn't seem as if there's going to be a full Celtic Park for the foreseeable future. The best case scenario that seems to be appearing is that the stadium could be 20 to 40% full at some point in the next year or so. But even that, to me, seems a little bit unrealistic at the moment. And even if it was 20 or even 40% full, that's still not going to help Celtic break even. Celtic are still going to be posting losses. So how have the club gone about this? Well, that brings us on to the season tickets that were announced earlier this week. Let's just go into the details and what the club have announced. Now, apart from the article that was posted on the website, the club also published a kind of questions and answer sheet that did just that. It aimed to answer frequently asked questions about the new season ticket. And at first I read it and it was interesting because there was barely any mention of coronavirus, other than saying that fans couldn't renew their season ticket by coming to the ticket office for obvious reasons. However, as we went on into the second page, I think it was 3 or 4 pages long, they started to mention coronavirus more and this interesting virtual services element of the season ticket. Now, that's Celtic speak for being able to get a link to watch any matches that you can't go to see at Celtic Park. They say that for any game played behind closed doors at Celtic Park, that any season ticket holders will receive a link to this virtual service free of any additional charges. Now, interestingly enough, Celtic then went into detail about this season ticket service, if we call it that, being entirely separate from Celtic TV. We'll go into that more in a little minute and some of the issues that may cause, especially for overseas supporters. The club then also mentioned that there would be no refunds available for any season ticket holders who can't get to the game at Celtic Park because they're not allowed and then don't want to take up the option of the digital pass. Now, this is extremely important to many Celtic supporters and especially pertinent for fans who perhaps have 3 or 4 season tickets living in the one household. Now, they would only require then one pass to watch the games online, but it seems, certainly from Celtic's comments, like there'd be no option for them other than to receive 4 passes, to pay out for all 4 and receive all 4 for their full season ticket cost. So we'll come on to the issue of refunds in just a second, but there's just so many issues that are raised by this announcement from Celtic. The first one that I've kind of spotted is just an obvious one in terms of, I know you get season tickets that cost less than others, student and over 65s, I think it is, concessions as well. But if you consign this just to adult season tickets, even then you've got, a price range from the cheapest ticket to the most expensive ticket, usually depending on where in the ground it's situated. So for example, if you're up in the corner of the Jock Stein stand, then you're going to probably pay less money than someone who's right in the middle of the north stand at the halfway line. Now, surely that's less of an issue when you're only getting a stream to watch a game. Why should some fans have to fork out more for their link to watch the game online than other fans who pay less? That doesn't seem fair to me at all. I get that Celtic are still saying that they want to get fans to the games as soon as possible, but is that really going to be possible for, the rest of this year? I doubt it. I think you're looking at next year at the earliest. So I don't see that as fair to supporters who are already paying more than other fans. I think it should possibly have been a one size fits all. Certainly for adult supporters, I still get the reduction in concessions in over 65s. I still think that's fair enough because their situation will still be the same. But for adult season tickets costing different amounts for effectively the same internet link doesn't seem fair to me. The club speak out about wanting to deliver additional value. That's their buzzword or their buzz phrase to do with these season tickets. And it almost seems like a bit of a get out of jail free card. They can use that at a later point and say, well, you signed up to it because we offered you this additional value. What is the additional value? We don't know yet. They've not gone into detail at all about it. They say they'll communicate that at a later date. I saw someone online saying that the value of this additional value will probably depend on the backlash from supporters to this season ticket news, and I think that's probably pretty fair comment. So that brings up an interesting point. Celtic TV costs, I think, around £15 a month if you're an overseas subscription holder, and that means you get to see every live match at Celtic Park. It also costs around £50 a year if you live in this country or the Republic of Ireland. That's it per year, as I say, but you don't then get to see live matches with that. But what will this new season ticket Celtic TV, if you want to call it that, offer that Celtic TV doesn't for basically £20 more per match? It just seems a whole lot of money to be paying for basically the same stream. Celtic will probably say that signing up with the BT Sport production crew, Sunset and Vine, who supplied the production for BT Sports coverage of both the SPFL and the UEFA Europa League in recent seasons. Celtic will probably say that that's the additional value that season ticket holders are getting. And I know we like Daryl Curry, John Hartson and even maybe Chris Sutton on the coverage, but it still doesn't make up for having to pay £26 to watch a game as part of your season ticket than getting it in Celtic TV for a £5. Now, what Celtic could perhaps do, I think they might do, is only making the game live on a Saturday at 3 o'clock on this season ticket TV, therefore giving Celtic season ticket holders the advantage of being the only ones to see the match. But you're then disadvantaging overseas supporters who have perhaps watched Celtic Park Saturday 3 p.m. games on Celtic TV for years. That doesn't seem fair on them at all, just because of the current situation. So Celtic are placed in an unenviable situation of not wanting to fleece season ticket holders who are paying £26 per match, but equally not wanting to disadvantage overseas supporters who have got into the habit of watching games, whether they're in America, Canada, Australia, etc. It's a tough one for the club, and that's where I've got a lot of sympathy for them. They're trying to keep everyone happy while also maintaining the financial security of the club. So it's not an easy one. I understand that, I honestly do. But equally, I think we should be seeing much, better from the club and a much fairer solution that doesn't disadvantage any supporters at all. But the big issue that supporters are interested in, season ticket holders especially, is the lack of refund or even a price reduction for supporters who are having to fork out on a full season ticket and won't get to see matches. Now, I had a look online, and the least expensive adult season ticket for Celtic Park next season is priced at £510. Now, that works out at around about £26 per match. £26 is a fair, if not a little bit high, price to pay to watch a game in the flesh, to get to see all the players, sit beside, people you're used to sitting beside at the games, have some chat, enjoy the game, and actually get to watch a match with your own eyes. But £26 to watch a game on your laptop is crazy. That's a massive price, and it's even more exaggerated if you live in a household where you've had to fork out for 4 season tickets and you're effectively paying over £100 per home match to watch a game on a laptop screen. It's crazy. Could the club have subsidised that amount, brought it down from £26 to £10 or even £15? I think they could have. I mean, it goes without saying that would have cost them into the millions, I guess, for a full season. But could that have been done, and would that have left supporters feeling a bit better about themselves? I think it would have been worth taking the hit financially. I think we're in a situation where supporters understand that the club are struggling financially and it's going to be a tough period. I think they would have paid slightly more than usual. They'd have paid £10 or even £15 to watch the game online if it was the only way they'd get to see the game, but paying £26 just seems like a slap in the face. Another thing that stuck out to me, could the club have opened this opportunity up to the wider Celtic support and then therefore brought down the price from £26 to maybe 15 or 10 due to the higher demand from the wider Celtic support? Rather than having 50,000 paying for this, you could perhaps have had, I don't know, 80, 90 or even 100,000 around the globe wanting to fork out for this per match. We don't even know if that was possible. We know that Sky have allegedly put in some terms into their deal with the SPFL to allow this whole system to happen. So we don't know if that had been possible, but surely if it was, Celtic have, missed an open goal by not taking that opportunity, paying supporters, itching to see their team in action, even if it's on a laptop, and they're effectively saying that only season ticket holders can do it. It just doesn't seem quite right.